I guess, this is the day that we all were looking forward to. Not just that, ladies and gentlemen, obviously we do hope that everybody out there have taken 100% advantage of the holy month of Ramadan. But this is a treat for all of us. But before I say or I speak any further, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my wonderful looking, amazing co-host over here today, who happens to be Miss Hajra Satti. I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan. And Hajra, Eid Mubarak, meri Eid de dem.
Assalamu alaikum, Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for introducing me. And like you said, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts our fast and make us better human and a better Muslim. And may Allah also give you the opportunity to give us the Eid, because since I've asked now, so the downtime.
I was the first one to ask you.
The downtime for Shahzad is at least 2 years, So after 2 years, I'm going to get the Eid. Maybe if I ask him and beg him again and again, without any humility.
But honestly,
oh yes.
This time
I
around,
remember the chocolate story.
But this time around, let's change it. Let's change it. Obviously, when she went to Turkey, I asked her, to get me something, and she did. It was a beautiful keychain. There were chocolates and whatnot. And she told me not to tell the entirety. Well, okay, I'm sorry. I've actually put it up in front of my team as well.
This is how you get back.
But other than that, I think, we can always have this reversal role in genders as well. It's not really important for an elderly male of the house, to kind of give away
important. No,
why
it is
not
important.
Why can't younger colleagues give Eid?
No. That's, I think we need to stick by our traditions, because I feel that there's lots of, the intrusive ideologies creeping in that are introduced by the Shahzad, and I do not abide by it. But Shahzad, when we were growing up, obviously this Eid had a lot of charm because of the Eid, of course, right? Yeah. And when we were growing up, if we have, if we gather up till until I think 1,000 rupees, so we would consider ourselves equivalent to Bill Gates or something like that, because 1,000 rupees has so much value at that time. Right. But I think the beautiful thing about our childhood memories from the Eid is how we used to gather at our nani or dadi or our grandfather's or grandmother's place, and we used to celebrate that. But now I do feel that we are digitally very well connected, right? But there is a lot of physical disconnect. So Eid is one that opportunity, or one that I would say festival we gather at our places of our relatives, where we go and we celebrate and we meet and greet them, and then have that savaiya. And I think I would like to take this opportunity to say to everyone out there, be careful with your eating habits, because obviously after the Ramadan, our stomach is a little bit attuned to the Ramadan routine, right? But when you are going and meeting and greeting your relatives, so there's lots of meeta and savaiya and lots of other, the eatables or the pakwans.
Samosa, cheese samosas and keema samosas and whatnot.
And
we certainly want to have all of that. Yeah, we certainly want to have all of that as well. But where you spoke about it, I think that, obviously because the families actually have grown bigger exponentially. MashaAllah, we are a country of a lot of people. Alhamdulillah, may everybody be blessed as well. But what happens is that, for example, when my daughters are going to get married, so imagine when they're going to have children, inshallah. So probably when the families grow bigger, then you certainly need to kind of pick and choose that in one day, which places can I really visit? And every other place, that you go to, obviously you'll have to give Eid as well. So you really need to be smart with that decision that you make. But in addition to this, I still remember, this is one of my fondest childhood memories that on Eid, what I would do is that because my father was the elder son in the family, so he would always go to his popos and whatnot. So imagine that what happened was that, I would always stick with my father and my mother, because every household that they're going to go to, I'll get Eid, right? So this is something
that's why it's charming, right? That this Eid is very charming in the first place, because you're going to get a lot of Eids. And I think over the time we lost, some members of our family. For example, I lost my dada, dadi and my nana, but there are lots of other addition to the family. So for example, our cousins got married, they have children. That's a beautiful addition to the family. But obviously we have grown up, so we are the one doling out the Eids. We are not the one getting the Eids as we used to when we were growing up. But I think as a girl, as a woman in Pakistan, one of the best traditions of the Eid is the Chand Raat and Mehndi and Churia. I haven't had the Mehndi. I will go and get it done. We would like to take this opportunity and once again reiterate this fact, and this message from our platform here is that do not forget the less fortunate community, especially who's out there, and make sure that you are generous with the fitrana, because I love this, particularly the tradition and the custom of Islam, which our religion has taught us that we have to make sure that we're also giving and doling out the Eidis or Fitranas to the less fortunate people out there. And this ensures that there is circulation of money that goes into the society, and make sure that we're also looking our brothers who are less fortunate, especially in the economic or the social status. When
exactly, and thank you so much, Hajra, for mentioning it as well. And we certainly need to remember, you know, all of those people who might not be able to come back to their homes. You know, may it be the people who serve the law enforcement agencies, may it be Pakistan Army, Pakistan Air Force, and Pakistan Navy. So for all of those individuals who are out there away from their homes, you know, Eid Mubarak to you too as well. And we certainly remember you in our prayers, and we certainly are missing you too as well. But for all of those amazing people who've taken out time today, I think they've got big hearts, because what they did was that they left behind their families and came to PTV World to enjoy and celebrate their Eid with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us introduce a worthy guest over here on Eid with us. First up, you know, she happens to be one of the most amazing calligraphers that I've come across in recent times as well. She's known worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we have been joined by Miss Farah Babar. Hello, Miss Farah. Assalamu alaikum. Eid Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum, Shahzad and Hajra. Eid Mubarak to both of you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much. And alongside Miss Farah Babar, we're very lucky that we have been joined by somebody who actually happens to be a celebrity beautician. Not just that, she's a makeup artist, she's an entrepreneur. There's so many hats that she's wearing. She's Miss Fatima Amin. Hello, assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak to both of you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you.
It's a pleasure being here.
And alongside her, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've been joined by a new singer on the block. I mean, imagine that he's already had a release. He's huge on Spotify. His sped up version has actually got millions of views. He is Mr. Muhammad Ibn Usman, MIU. Hello, assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak.
Wa alaikum assalam. Eid Mubarak to you too as well. How are you doing?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here.
I think before we start a conversation, so I would like to take this opportunity and ask Muhammad, how much Eid did you get from your mamu?
How much Eid? That's a tricky question.
They don't even spare me. Okay, now for everybody who's out there, he actually
I mean, he did not give the answer. So
Alhamdulillah.
Shahzad is trying to pressurize.
No, I'm not pressurizing anybody.
Yeah,
he's my daughter's son. Oh, sorry. In fact, he's my sister's son. He's my nephew. Alhamdulillah. He's a singer. He's a great musician. And every time when it's Eid, you know what they do is they actually pull money out of my pocket. You know, him and Alicia.
I think you need to be generous with that. Why don't you give it out? I mean,
okay, you know, he's there. I'm closing my eyes. You can ask him whether he gets Eid or not.
You take people to such a brink that they have to grab it from
you know, we certainly want somebody to come from your family so that I can ask all of these questions as well. So, Mama, do you get Eid?
I do.
Has there any Eid that you haven't got Eid from me?
Do you get it forcefully?
I think ever since I think I've entered, I've turned, I think ever since I've turned 16, I think the Eid rates have been, you know.
Yeah, the Eid rates have gone up. See? Yeah, thank you so much. Family first, why not? Miss Farah? Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here.
Thank you.
You left your husband behind on Eid.
I did because of both of you and Pakistan, I think. And I thought maybe it'll be a different thing to celebrate it with the rest of the country. Why not?
But what are the Eid rituals? Because as a woman of the family, obviously you have to be careful about the table settings, and you have to be careful about the cooking and the meetas and all of that.
Yes, well, tradition. Eid is a very traditional, you know, celebration, and it is. Of course, we celebrate it to the fullest, starting with Ramadan, because Ramadan we also celebrate, and every iftar. I have grandchildren, and mashallah, and the two of them who are here with me, I make sure, you know, because these are the traditions we need to instill in our children, that the du'as and all. So she sits and she's the one who does the iftar du'a, and then we all open. Yeah, so alhamdulillah for that. And then of course Chandrat is very important. So here my daughter-in-law Nuria, she has put on mehndi for me. That is a family tradition, that she every night of Chandrat, she is the one who puts mehndi to everyone, the girls, and me, I'm the girl as well. So so she did that last night, and yeah, so that's and then of course Eid breakfast.
But were your jodas on time? I think that the
joda, oh God, that is the whole apart from, you know, the ibadats and what all I do and the rest of the family, but jodas are one thing, because, you know, my daughter is in Canada and my two granddaughters are there, so of course their jodas have to be sent. and that has to be done quite early. And you know, so this year the
So
theme
were they happy
is-
with their jodas?
They were extremely happy, alhamdulillah. The theme is that all mothers and daughters are wearing the same.
Yeah,
So that's why
they're
I'm
twinning,
also
yeah.
wearing pink, because that's what
So
everyone
everybody's
is.
wearing that.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. So towards the end of Eid, you know, if you're going to come up with a picture collage, I think everybody's going to look amazing as
Yeah.
well, and it will make you feel like as if it's a family picture.
Yeah.
Whether you know somebody is Canada or in Pakistan as well, and wherever people may probably be celebrating Eid, Eid Mubarak to you.
Shazad, do you, I mean, go out with your wife or with your mother, or I mean, generally the women of your household for the Eid shopping?
Obviously,
because
these are the days when we go out. I mean, these are the days when we look forward to going out as
Okay,
well.
that's
You know,
wonderful.
because in Ramadan we've been so busy, you know, with programs and cricket and whatnot. So I think that, you know, to get these opportunities to go out with your family, daughters, I mean, it's just amazing. Because I've seen my father, you know, running for my sisters, for their jodas and juti and whatnot. Because imagine, alhamdulillah, I'm blessed to have 5 sisters. So my father was always, you know, acha beta tumhara kya reh gaya, acha beta tumhara kya reh gaya, and he's just running up and down.
I don't know if it's a tradition in our household, or I don't know if it's in your, I mean, if it is, so you can correct me out, but there's this tradition where usually the men of the households, they take out the dresses for their sisters who are married or for the daughters who are married, and they go out on the Chand Raat and they give that particular dress to their daughters or sisters, or I mean the married women of the family. So
Not
that's a
just
very
even married
beautiful
women, I
feeling.
mean, you know, say if we'll go out, you know, if there's something nice, we'll get it for our parents, you know.
Yes, yes.
If my sister goes out and she thinks that, you know, this would look nice on Bhai,
Yes,
so I'll get it.
yes, yes.
And if I'll go out, you know, if I see that, you know, something would look nice on Muhammad, probably because he's not my size anymore, so I think I'll get it for him too as well. But let's move on to Miss Fatima. Miss Fatma, you know, you are one of those people, you know, the kind of field that you picked up or the kind of career line that you have, that you're the most busiest, you know, around this time as well. So how is it that the celebrities are still not calling you that Fatma, tumne pehle din hamare ghar aana hai, please hame taiyar karna hai, tumne warna Eid sahi nahi hogi.
No, it's true. It's a very busy time of the year around Eid, because I think this is one time when everybody is getting together, everybody wants to look nice. And I am all for celebrating small occasions, but this is a big occasion, you know, and how we beautify ourselves externally as well as internally are both very important. And I feel like, you know, we were talking about traditions of how everybody gets together, like, you know, how your granddaughter puts mehndi on you. So while growing up in my household, we're 3 sisters. So my father used to put mehndi on for us.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so you
Was
know,
he good at it?
he was so good at it.
Oh,
I
that's
think
wonderful.
I've gotten a lot of my aesthetics from him.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so you know, he used to make sure that everybody has their bangles, everybody's dressed up, color coordinated. So from like that very early age, those things have like become a part of us, and that's
Right.
what I'm giving, you know, that's what we teach our daughters, even my son.
Wow.
Like, you know, let's get together, let's make it festive, because, you know, this is a part of our.
Ms. Fatma, so you've seen that when we were growing up and now like we have grown up now. So how do you think your Eid has changed over the time? Obviously, the environment was different when we were young, we were kids, and now, I mean, like I talked about it, that we were used to get a lot of Eid, but now we are the ones who are doling it out,
we're
right?
rolling it out for sure.
Yes.
And it's all about how social media has connected us. So we do feel we're in touch even though we're afar.
Yeah.
But the physical connection, as you had mentioned, is so important, and especially on occasions like this, because we should also have that gratitude that we are amongst our loved ones. You know, a lot of people have lost their family members, have seen so much sufferings, but because we are blessed enough, so we should really, really have that appreciation for being together.
Exactly, and we certainly need that as well. I
Right.
mean, imagine on Eid Day, you know, if you're not going to give somebody, you know, kutke jappi, I don't think that, you know, that the real essence of Eid is going to come out. And still, you know, we as men of the house or boys of the house, that's how I would like to put it, are so shy to give hugs to our father. I mean, imagine if Abuji, you're listening today, please make sure that one day you stand up and be like, yaar chalo aao idhar jappi to de do. Imagine whenever, you know, imagine even if I go for a jappi, you know, it's like a very formal sort of a jappi. It's not like a proper connection.
And
So I don't know, you know, if my chachus, my abu, everybody, if you guys are listening out there, please make sure that whenever you give jappi, kotke deo, please.
And I think everyone has a different way of expressing their love. So like Shahzad alluded to, Farhan, I think
ना
I
अबू
can
पैसे
relate.
दे रहे हैं ना अबू जप्पी दे रहे हैं कुछ भी नहीं दे रहे हैं फिर कौन
Yeah,
क्या
yeah,
कहाँ है मैं
but
कहाँ से
sensitive.
लाऊं क्या
I think this is particularly that I witnessed in my household too. So Eid is one particular occasion where we can go and we can hug our elders of the family, because usually they express their love in other terms, right? Looking after us, making sure their needs are met. But I think there is a very, magical sort of a thing in the hugs, right? Especially when you are doing it with your loved ones, when you're doing it with your parents,
especially when I do it with my chachu, I take money out of his pocket as well. And so, whenever he's hugging me, his one hand is on his pocket, one hand is somewhere here as well. Mohammed, I know, how you spend your first day of Eid, but, for the rest of the world, who are watching you right now, your fans out there, because of your music, how do you spend your Eid?
I spent my Eid, it's the normal, we boys have to wake up at around 5 a.m. or so in the morning. For personally, I don't sleep after, the night before Eid, because, we have Eid prayers at maybe 5, 6 in the morning. And
his father is a really jumpy guy, so he does not sleep too much. He's up. Any time that you're going to see, I think he's that one member of the family who's always up. He's like that. He's full of energy.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
But I think a normal Eid day one for me would be prayers in the morning, and then is my nap time.
Right? Sometimes you do miss out on the
I haven't, alhamdulillah, I haven't missed out on a single Eid prayer ever since I'm born. So I'd come back, then I'd sleep, because you also need to catch up on sleep because you have a really long night ahead, and that we'd all gather up at this one khala's place. You were there as well. Gather up at that one place.
Eid,
and then it's
exactly.
crazy.
So I would like to take this opportunity and kind of explain. So imagine, so my eldest sister, Api Sadia, if you're listening, Eid Mubarak to everybody, by the way. But what happens is, so we gather around. All our brother-in-laws, all the children of the family, my father, mother, everybody gathers around at her place for dinner. The dinner is scrumptious, and then gradually what happens is, so that my father will start giving Eid. Then the eldest, which is going to be Api Sadia, then Api Amber, then Api Aisha. Because now if I'm not going to name everybody, they might be like, "Hamara naam kyun nahi liya?" Api Amna, Api Sadia. Then it's my turn, and yes, then it's Arsalan Mahmood's turn as well. So Muhammad, on this occasion, we do know for a fact that that you've recorded this new single, Leena.
Yes.
Right? Would you mind sharing it with the audiences as well? I know that it's not been released, but it's a request. If you could do that for us.
And before you do that, I think Ms. Fatma wanted to add something,
Sure.
so please go ahead.
We were talking about eating together as families on Eid.
Yes.
I think there's another charm in preparing food for Eid dinners or lunches, even the breakfast. After all, the men come back from the prayers, the samaiya, how tables are laid out. It's just beautiful,
It
And
is.
do you go for the full-fledged breakfast like usually we go for the
Oh,
paratha?
yes.
I
think we're all foodies here.
Whatever you can get on Eid, what happens, I think that the flavor is such and the essence is such of Eid that you take it out from others' plates as well. हाँ तुम्हारा क्या है? कैसा है? हाँ, अच्छा है, बहुत
But
अच्छा
at the end, I think we all need a bottle of Eno.
Yes.
Imagine, do you know what?
Hajmola.
Do you know that on Bakra Eid last year, we had Dr. Saab, and Dr. Saab came in and said that there was an emergency, in Islamabad, because a lot of people ended up in the hospital because of overeating mutton and beef.
Exactly.
Imagine, so that's how it was. So I don't know whether does Leena eat a lot of meat or
I don't think she's
no. All right, so let's see. Can you please share it with the audiences out there?
Of course.
And what's the story behind Leena? Leena was somebody you knew?
No, actually it isn't someone I know. I write my songs as a character. The character happens to go by the name of MIU, which is a core persona that I've adopted.
Okay.
MIU is a direct reflection of the human being I am, and MIU is a normal 18-year-old teenager who is currently also doing his A-levels, and he's going through the thicks and thins of life, and he's also battling through the usual teenage stuff that goes on. But I think Leena is an idea. Leena is a ray of hope. Leena translates to Persian. In Persian, Leena stands for a ray of sunlight. Nahi pasand aaya.
All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Leena is coming your way. It's not released as of yet. We have requested MIU to please do it for us. So from Muhammad ibn Osman, this is MIE. Let's do it.
लीना तेरी आंखों से रोशन है मेरा जहां, पर ये न जानू मेरी लीना इस जहां में है कहाँ। लीना तेरी ख्वाहिशों के आगे कुर्बान सारा समा लीना तेरी बेरुखी भी कातिल और फिर तेरी हर हदा हो जाने जाना इतना तू तड़पाना I know I haven't met you but I feel like I need you हो जाने जाना इतना तू तड़पाना I know I haven't met you but I feel like I ओ मेरी लीना कब आएगी तू लीना I'm waiting for you लीना बिन तेरे भी क्या जीना ओ मेरी लीना मुझसे ही मुझको छीना बन जा मेरी हसीना बिन तेरे लगदा जीना लीना तेरी गहरी जुल्फें जो टिकती हैं तेरे चेहरे पर चाहूँ मैं ये कि रुक ही जाए मेरी तुझ पे नजर लीना तेरी ख्वाहिशों के आगे कुर्बान सारा समा लीना तेरी बेरुखी भी कातिल और फिर तेरी हर हदा हो जाने जाना इतना तू तड़पाना I know I haven't met you but I feel like I need you हो जाने जाना इतना तू तड़पाना I know I haven't met you but I feel like I ओ मेरी लीना कब आएगी तू लीना I'm waiting for you लीना बिन तेरे लगदा जीना ओ मेरी लीना मुझसे ही मुझको छीना बन जा मेरी हसीना बिन तेरे लगदा जीना ओ मेरी लीना
Wow! Oh, Mary Leena, Nagale Mujhko with your Sina. I mean, that was wonderful, Mohammed. You know, I mean, you've written it so beautifully well, and the composition is so nice, and the way that you sing, it feels like as if you are so submerged in that character of MIU that you want to put in front of people. I mean, beautiful. You know, Leena, tumne mujhko hi mujhse china. How do you come up with these lines? Yeah?
How do I come up with these lines? So, personally, I'm not very good with Urdu. So, what I do is my songwriting process involves me writing in English and then converting every single thing in Urdu. And then I have a friend proofread, and then he recommends, you know, where I need some changes, and then I'd go through every single thing, and I'd read some poetry for inspiration, and I think then I'd come back and then I'd get things right.
Wow, that's a wonderful. Yeah, you did a wonderful job, and you know, so at times, you know, you do feel like singing songs, right?
Yeah.
You know, and in Pakistan, you know how men are, you know. So I think if it's a girl singing, so do you know from Leena where am I going? Tu hai kitna. I think everybody understood it. I think everybody understood it. But this time around now, what we're going to do is that to know you better and how your Eid's been, we have a game to play with you guys. You guys like playing games?
Of course.
All right. You know, so on Eid, ladies and gentlemen, we have this wonderful segment which we call Never Have I Ever. So we're going to ask you a couple of questions. We have given you these playboards. I think our design department has done a great job. You know, this is a yes, this is a no. You know, so please make sure the first things first, you have to take an oath. Repeat after me.
Oh goodness.
Oh, my, we're taking oath
You know,
for
we bear witness to.
With my mehndi hand.
Yeah, we bear witness to.
Right hand.
We bear witness to.
We bear witness
that whatever we are going to say
that whatever we're
is going to be true to our
it's going to be true to our
best of knowledge.
best of knowledge.
And we will make sure
And we will make sure
that we don't lie.
we don't lie.
And if we lie,
lie,
so all those children watching us at our homes,
all those children
we'll
watching
get double
us,
deed.
we'll get double
Double
deed.
deed.
Suck
Right.
you.
Let's get started.
At the end, I said not.
It's okay. So, all right, let's get started. We have the questions over here as well. You know, it is for us to answer, for everybody else to answer as well. Where's your card?
Yes,
all right,
that's
so,
right
okay, never have I ever Googled myself. I have.
I have.
I think everyone does
No,
that.
yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
I don't think I'm famous enough to be
You
on
are,
Google.
you are. I mean, you know,
Well,
everybody knows
now
you.
after this
People
show, I
spend
think
millions
I
of rupees to get your calligraphy pieces as well. So, you know, so everybody's
now
looking for you.
today I will.
Oh, today you will?
that's
Okay,
sweet.
I think that's wonderful. So, why did you Google yourself?
Just to see how the reviews are.
At times it feels good, it's good for your self-esteem
And
to
also
know.
to see what I need to put out there in my portfolio. It's always good to grow and evolve, right?
And I think it always feels good to be validated.
But
as
it's
well,
nothing,
on the
it's
social
not
media.
about being vain in any way. Matlab, I hope that Allah always keeps everyone humble and grounded, but it's just about improving and stepping on.
Exactly, that's wonderful. So I think that the first time that I started to Google myself was to check, if I'm on Wikipedia or not. Okay, go ahead.
Why was I Googling myself? Well, I was Googling myself just so I could have an inside look on where my song's playing. And it actually does give you very good stats. And I also wanted to check if I have a Wikipedia page, which I don't.
Really to kind of, and for that, I think, for people who are actually looking forward to that, let me give you a piece of advice, and that is that, you yourself can actually upload on Wikipedia whatever you want to upload about yourself. Okay, moving on towards the next question. Never have I ever laughed so hard that you spit out a drink. I have done that.
No, I have done that
No.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
No?
No.
Why?
I mean, not that much.
खुल के हंसी रही हो?
I mean, not that much कि, I would spit out in a drink. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that?
I
what was the joke?
I don't remember, but I do remember the spitting out.
Yeah.
part.
What was the joke?
Yeah, honestly, we don't remember the joke, but you remember that moment where you have like tummy ache and you're rolling over with your friends or family and just going in like this hysteria of
So
laughing.
did you continue to still drink the, whatever drink you were drinking, or you were like, okay, I think now it's enough?
Nick, leave your pee-pee.
I think it's all right. It comes the same way, goes the same way as well.
course,
What about you, Mohammed?
I honestly don't think there's only one occasion. I think this happens every single time I'm out with my friends. My friends are extremely funny and they make me laugh a lot. And I think when you're with your friends, you're your true self.
And most of the time when you're with your friends, you're drinking, right?
No, I'm drinking cola or something.
That's what I said. What do you mean? I mean, it's a family show anyway.
Okay, so now never have I ever slipped into someone's DM. This is interesting. Someone DMs, message, the Instagram message.
No.
Never.
No.
Never. What about you? No? Yeah. We only have
I'm an
one here.
18-year-old teenager.
That's my
No
job.
here.
That's my
Whose DM that you slipped into?
I was spitting too
That's the
loud.
guy I'm going to tell your mother, okay?
Yeah, you can.
You don't need
I
to
don't
do
think
that.
I don't
think
think I
she's
can
going to know
count.
Huh?
I don't think I can
Oh my
count.
God, it's countless.
You cannot count? Okay, let me make it very clear for our audiences. Majorly boys or girls?
I think both.
Both. Wow.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends.
What have you been doing? I mean, if they're friends, why do you have to slip into their DMs?
Because every single friend of mine has like 5 accounts or so. I think that's the new thing with this generation.
All right, it's all right. You're in the age, so probably make sure that you just do not hurt somebody's sentiment, okay? So never have I ever read an entire book in a day. This question I put in it so that I can ask you, Haja, because Haja is such a book worm, alhamdulillah, that she's always onto it as well. I think I've read one book as well in a day. Yes.
No,
Not in a day.
Not in a day. I have to be honest.
All
not
right.
in
Yeah.
a day.
Which one was it for you?
I think there were many books, but primarily Harry Potter was the one which I used to read.
For me, it was The Alchemist, and it was because of the fact that it was already a thinner book. So I was like, okay, I can do that as well. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, never have I ever stayed up all night.
Yeah, I think I have.
I have.
Yes.
सब उठे अब सबकी वजह भी अलग.
Yes, usually it's in Ramadan. Not now,
Yeah,
but
obviously.
it used to be back
Okay.
then.
No, for me, my kids, when they were young, mothers have to
Yeah.
be
Of
up.
course, of
Yeah.
course.
What about you?
I think I've stayed countless nights doing my assignments when I was in NCA, completing
Oh, yes.
my projects. We had all-nighters going
So
on.
you have never stayed up all night talking to somebody on the phone or something
No.
of that sort of
I think
No,
Shahzad
not
has an
like
interesting
that.
story to share.
I have so
Yeah,
many
yeah.
interesting stories.
Go
because
ahead.
Imagine, alhamdulillah, shukr, alhamdulillah, I'm so blessed that, I'm working around the clock, so somewhere probably there's daytime that, that I'm working and I have to work, these are the hours. Some days I'm on show, some days I'm on recording, some days I'm on the phone too. I mean, it takes, because a lot of my friends call me, some are in UK, some are in US, so there are a lot of conversations about them. What about you, brother?
I think
have you been, staying up all night because you slipped into somebody's DMs and now they came back texting you?
No, not really. I think I was up all night this morning as well.
Chandra, right?
Yeah. So I think for me, I'm also an A-level student, so I do think, especially in Ramadan, I think your routine is set in a way that you have to be up all night. But I think a special story that I'd like to share about staying up all night is that when I was shooting my first music video, that music video shoot started at 3 a.m. in the morning.
It was last year, right? In Ramadan.
It was last year before Ramadan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last year before Ramadan. So it started at 3 a.m. and it ended next day at 5 a.m. So I think that's and
the video was fantastic as well. That song is titled Guna. Please make sure that you check it out on his YouTube
I think
channel.
when you are a student, so you do stay up all the night, especially when it's when your
that's
exams
true.
are around
Very
the
true.
corner,
Very
or
true.
I mean you have
exam
to
khatam ho gaye, cousins aa gaye, you
maybe,
know, all of that.
or maybe if you have some very prestigious sort of assignment or very important assignment, so you do wake up all the night.
You might not even know that they've categorized an assignment as prestigious anytime sooner. I don't think that they've ever done it in life.
yeah.
Okay, so one last question, and that is, so never have I ever re-gifted a gift?
Of course I did.
I have, yes.
I think we all do
Or
that.
we're all guilty of that.
Yeah.
No.
Never.
We're all
can't
I
guilty.
think there are only two no. मैंने कभी gift ही नहीं दिया. I think I've only believed in getting gifts. That's it. I've never given it to somebody else. So I might have given it to somebody else, but for all the gifts that I get, cannot actually be given to people other than me, myself, or Muhammad, because of the fact that usually it's shoes, PR packages, and shalwar kameez. It does not fit everybody. So I think I keep them. And
So no, you're talking about when you are, I mean, already working and as a professional. But when we were as a child, in our childhood, and as a child, we
हमारे
do get.
दोस्त थे मेरे बेचारे उन्होंने ना मुझे कभी
I mean,
नहीं दिया, ना
not
मेरे
anyone
को
from the
दिया.
family.
Family, but yes, obviously, if my sister is going to get something for me, why would I give it to somebody else anyways?
So I mean, you do get a lot of perfumes or
तुम
something
चाह रही हो
like
कि मैं
that.
कुछ किसी को और को दे दूँ, है ना? But I've never done that, So if somebody has given me something, I will never give it to anybody else.
Yeah.
But you said yes. When was it?
Yes, I did that because what happens. It's not just that the gift is not, worthy enough, but it's just that I have this one particular drawer in which I put a lot of gifts that I receive, right? And sometimes when happens is that you have some guest over, and in emergency you have to give that guest some gift sort of a thing, right? So I do put out some of the gift from that drawer and give that to the
So
guest.
tomorrow,
yes.
if you're coming, from the second year, please make sure that you bring in
drawer.
one gift for us from that drawer as well.
Yeah, when I get the ED, I will make sure it. So there's a conditionality attached to
No.
that, right? Yeah.
This time around, there shouldn't be any condition. So imagine you asked for chocolates once, I got them twice, right?
After 2
Now I
years,
deserve-
after 2 years of begging,
No, now I deserve
constantly
it.
saying that on the show, and then I got it.
It's okay. Okay, madam, moving on to you.
Yeah, well, it's not that you don't appreciate the gift.
Yes,
Of course you
of
do.
course.
But sometimes it's
You don't like
something
it.
it's something that you already have, or the color doesn't suit you, or
Yeah.
the palette is not your taste,
Or
or
you don't
whatever.
want to use it in the first
Exactly.
place.
Receipts
Yeah.
are-
Yeah,
देके
so
जाते हैं,
instead
change
of
कराना
just
तो करा
keeping it and not sharing it, it's better to sort of pass it on.
Exactly, that's wonderful. So rather than passing it on, most of the times I've seen people gifting, stuff to people with the original receipt as well, which
Well, I
means
received, I'll confess, I received a gift from someone where they forgot to take out the card which was given to them by the other person.
That's fine.
how did you feel about it?
Well, I said,
We all been doing that. It's karma, right?
Yeah. So,
Right.
for you, the question is different. So imagine that, if somebody's gotten you something and they gave you the original receipt with it as well, that means that you can get it changed, right?
Of course.
Would you get it changed?
It depends on whether I like it enough or not. But a lot of times now, a lot of brands have started giving the gift receipt.
Yeah.
So in
Gift
case you
cards.
want to change the color, I think it's very convenient.
True.
And
a
it's
more
not, and
practical
like for
thing.
us,
It's
it's not about the gift not being worthy. Sometimes it doesn't suit you. Sometimes, for example, I'm very particular about my fragrances. If I wear something that doesn't suit me, I have like a really bad headache. So I tend to,
Yes.
and it's a very good perfume, so I do tend to give it to my sisters or my close friends,
Yeah.
and they appreciate it as well.
Exactly, that's wonderful. And this just reminded me that today when I was getting ready, PSW, Pakistan Single Window,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
came on our show. They sent me an Eid gift as well. Wow, thank you
that's
so much, PSW. I love it. And most of the times, what happens is that somebody would come over to your place, and that you have to give them something. So you bought something for your own self, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, yaar,
Yeah.
please को
Yeah,
दे देता हूँ,
In
मैं अपना
emergency,
बाद
you
में
have
कर
to do
लूँगा.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Have you
true.
done that, Mohammed?
I have not.
He just
Mohammed
receives
is too
it.
young
I
to
have
do
not.
gift.
I don't like sharing my things.
No, but that's fine. But have you gifted something to somebody? For
Yeah,
probably
so
the
many times.
person
I
you
think,
slipped into her DMs.
No, I've never given.
How
You've taken it in the
Are
wrong
you
context.
being a
You've taken
typical
it in the
mama
wrong
who's
context.
pulling the leg, huh?
You've taken it in the
Because
wrong
obviously you
context.
need to gift now, right?
No, I'm only
You
gifting
earn
my
yourself,
mother. trust
mashallah.
me.
You make music, you work, you have
He's
money.
made it clear he's gifting
Yeah.
it to
Yeah.
his mother.
I only
Oh,
gift
that's
things
nice.
to my mother.
Really? When was the last time I
No, I think it was Mother's Day.
But I think one thing on record, I think he brings in a lot of gifts for his Nana, Boo and Nani. I mean,
No,
I think
that's
this is one thing, and he's always been there. He's a very caring child as well. It's wonderful. So is there anything that you guys would want to kind of say towards the end of this segment? You want to share something? do you think that you would want to kind of, you know, rebuild your relationship with somebody whom you miss too much? You know, they're not around because of, you know, they gifted you another gift, you know, which they received in the first place, and you're still not talking to them. Anything, please go ahead.
I think the message here should also be that sometimes we take relationships for granted. We should keep letting people know how we feel about them. Spread, you know how you said that men should hug each other more, you know, more. So I think that's a beautiful way of expressing love. And when you don't have those people around, if someone is living abroad and you're away from your loved ones, then you really feel it. And now when you are with them and you have the chance, I think we shouldn't take that for granted and definitely share our feelings and emotions.
But if you don't feel okay about that person, please don't share your feelings. Yeah, please.
Well, for me, you know, material things are really nice to have, but other than that, to share feelings and to share empathy and sympathy with each other, I think that is very important, and that's what Ramadan teaches us, to have empathy for other people. So coming to Eid and other festivities in our life, I think this is the thing that we really need to emphasize more, and to inculcate this kind of teachings and things in our children. So that is what I would like to say, that to have that empathy for the other person, and the material is good, but you know, have real feelings and give
Emotions
that
are
love.
important,
As there
communication
is a
needs to be
sunnah, you know, even a smile is a gift.
Exactly.
To give the smile.
And that's exactly what I did, you know. So one of my friends, you know, so we actually had a deal, we closed the deal, and then I got a higher offer. I mean, it was a really higher offer, but since because I didn't really had any down payments to myself, so I sold it to somebody else. So my friend wasn't talking to me. So this Ramadan, I was sitting somewhere and I had this idea that, you know, I think that's what our Prophet would want us to do, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that's exactly what I did, and it was so well received. So Muhammad, for you, you know, you have to give away a message, but through your music. So whatever you're going to sing needs to be a message. I hope it's not a tough one for you.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead. Go ahead. You know,
This
he's
is
got a
actually-
message. You know, he's a creative boy.
Actually, this is going to be very embarrassing.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. Why?
This is
Yeah,
going to be
yeah,
very
go ahead,
embarrassing.
It's okay.
I need to put some thought in on what I'm going to say.
No, it's
or
all
you're
right.
going to use
Say
it against
whatever,
me
say
for life.
whatever.
For life.
Yeah.
This is so
I mean, just sing a song which you think is very meaningful.
which I think is very meaningful.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or
And
your
people need
favorite,
to
or for
realize
your
it.
favorite
Okay.
song. I think Shahzad is grilling you too much. I think you sing your favorite
No,
song.
I think I do have a song.
Yeah,
It's by
go
ahead.
Kashmir,
Sure,
and
go ahead.
I don't know the chords.
Yeah,
to it.
sure,
I'm
sure. Go
really
ahead, just
sorry.
sing it.
It's by Kashmir, and it's called Parishaniya.
Yeah.
And it
Sure.
goes like.
It's a great band.
चाहे तो छूले वो तू सातों आसमां, खुद से डरता क्यों है ये तो तू बता, परेशानियां तो आएंगी, हर पल तुझे सताएंगी और मुश्किलें बढ़ती जाएंगी, पर तू ना होना खफा.
Wow, that was beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Sky is the limit. That was the message as well. Thank you so much for being with us. Ms. Farah,
Thank
Ms.
you so
Fatima,
much.
and Muhammad Ibn
Thank you so
Usman,
much.
MIU.
Thank you so much.
You know, we're celebrating Eid over here in the PD World Studios. For now, ladies and gentlemen, we're heading out towards a short break because you guys will come back. We have a cast from the film joining us right now, and we have a lot of questions for them too as well. Let's celebrate Eid. Ab aapne break mein mujhe Eid hi deni. Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back, and once again Eid Mubarak to Shahzad and everyone from our team, the PTV World, and everyone who is out celebrating, especially the Muslim fraternity. But Shahzad, when we talk that we need to go out and encourage the Pakistani film industry because it is very in the nascent field, right? And we need to go out and support our actor fraternity. Should be encouraged going out and watching the films out there. So in this particular regard, we have invited someone on our studio whose film is coming on. We've already seen the trailer and the teaser, and it is an amazing movie. movie. And
why don't we take this opportunity and kind of share the trailer, you know, with the audiences as well, you know, because we go out in 46 different countries. But before we kind of share the trailer, ladies and gentlemen,
I would like to ask you, so are you very ardent cinema goer? Because you are from the
I think our
entertainment
entire
industry.
goes to the cinema. There's no seats left for anybody else.
Such a
Alhamdulillah, that's
huge
how big of a
family.
family is as well.
Alhamdulillah.
But ladies and gentlemen, it is Hum, Tum Aur Woh, which is coming out, ladies and gentlemen. The director happens to be an amazing, prolific director. He's made a name for himself, you know, right after the movie Sher Dil, if you can recall. It's a situational comedy. Let's go. Let's take a good look at this trailer. The cast looks amazing. Junaid Khan has always been my favorite, and Amna's featuring alongside him as well. We have the cast, we have the director, we have the production designer over here. We will be in conversation with them on this auspicious occasion we call Eid. But first, let's go. Let's take a good look at the trailer. Situational comedy coming your way. Let's do it.
गरीब की छत और अमीर की वीडियो हमेशा लीक होती है।
अगर पेन गुम हो जाए तो दोबारा खरीदा जा सकता है, मगर अगर ढक्कन गुम हो जाए तो दोबारा मिलना नामुमकिन।
ताश एक इस्लामी खेल है।
क्यों?
क्योंकि उसमें 4 बिग माच जो होती है।
ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫੈਂਟ ਵੀ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਹੱਥਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ। ਮੁੜ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਸੀਬਾਂ 'ਚ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਛੁੜੀਆਂ ਕਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ। ਉਹ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੱਛਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਦੋ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਨੇ।
अमन करो अमन।
ਅਮਨੇ ਓਏ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੇ ਅਖਬਾਰ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਵੀ ਜੰਗ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਤੂੰ ਵੱਡਾ ਆਇਆ ਅਮਨ ਬਖੰਜ
आशिका तो सोना मुखड़ा लुकान ले सजना ने
अल्लाह किसी को गोली ना मारे, इसकी अंग्रेजी सुना दे, खुद ही मर जाएगा। तो वैसे फनी हो रहा है जब कोई हसीन लड़की किसी घर चले जाती है ना, तो वहाँ के मर्द मजा ही होना शुरू हो जाते हैं।
आपके तो अंदाज ही निराले हैं।
ओ सर जी मैं कह रहा हूँ घर में चोर आ गए। जे वाओ चोर रे साकिन चोर
कुड़ी दा झुमका सरगोदा भलवाल रोड पे तेरी सवारी किन्नू की फैक्ट्री की इजारादारी है ना।
बस भाई जी मैं खुश हूँ।
गरीब की छत और अमीर की वीडियो हमेशा लीक होती है. I don't know how do they come up with these lines as well. But ladies and gentlemen, this film actually looks really promising as well. For everybody who's out there, please make sure that you book your tickets as well towards the probably end of today, you know, in evening. Make sure that you go out and support the content, because it certainly looks very promising as well. We're very lucky that we have been joined by the director and the writer of this film and Sher Dil as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've been joined by somebody as handsome as him. I have never seen, you know, if we are to refer to a director. Ladies and gentlemen, we're lucky that we have been joined by Mr. Noman Khan. Assalamu alaikum. Eid Mubarak, Noman bhai.
Assalamu alaikum, Shahzad.
One way, how are you?
I am fine.
Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here. Ek baar phir se dili Eid Mubarak.
Thank you very much for having me, and aapko bhi dili Mubarak.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here. I hope that you know that he's got some tickets for us as well. Even though I do not support free tickets, but yes, it's okay. You know, once the director himself is on the show,
that's for the other people out there.
As well. And not just that, ladies and gentlemen, moving on, obviously, just like the film looks promising, the team needs to be promising as well. We have the team member over here who actually happens to be the production head, you know, somebody who's actually designed the entire production herself. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by
Miss Amber Imtiaz. Assalamu alaikum and Eid Mubarak to you, Miss Amber.
Eid Mubarak to you as well, and thank you so much for having us over here.
Thank you so much, Ms. Amber, for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here and supporting the film, ladies and gentlemen. Hum Tum Aur Woh. We have an actor over here who happens to be Mr. Saad. Hello, Saad bhai. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. I'm good.
Eid Mubarak.
Khair Mubarak. Aapko bhi Eid Mubarak bahut.
Thank you so much. And who are you in Hum Tum Aur Woh? Who are you? Are you Hum, are you Tum, or are you Woh?
मैं एक्चुअली जो है वो मूवी के अंदर वो हूँ.
वो हूँ?
वो हूँ.
वो
जो होता है वो थोड़ा सा खतरनाक होता है.
वो can always be very risky as well. But let's get started with Noman bhai. So Noman bhai, you know, one film you did, you know, it's all like dogfights and fighter jets and whatnot, and all. It was full of action. Now all of a sudden you come back with a film which is about situational comedy. Is that you've realized that the formula for a hit film in Pakistan is situational comedy? Or do you think that you've tested and tried Sher Dil? It was a big hit, it's on Amazon Prime, it's everywhere, everybody's talking about it. Why this sudden change?
I'll take you a little back, Shahzad. Thank you very much for asking. In fact, once I wrote Sher Dil, at that point of time, I wanted to write something on the national thing. Okay. And I wanted to attempt an aviation movie. And as I told so many times that there are very less movies on the inventory of the aviation.
Yep.
So we did that, and we are, as you said, #1 on Amazon Prime. We're #1 on Emirates Airline. But then I wanted to give a curve to my writing that I can attempt writing a comedy also.
Yeah.
And then once I was writing comedy, I was talking about that I should write about the situational comedy, because mostly we attempt romantic comedies, which are called rom-coms. So situational comedy is a situation that in which you will speak a normal sentence and the audiences, which they know that what situation he is in. For example, you are expecting me to be a director and I am basically a spot boy, and you start asking me the questions of the director, and he attempts to be the one that I am a director. So everybody is laughing on that situation.
But the only thing I'm expecting from you today is Eid probably. But please continue.
Then I will act as a spot boy.
That was the best answer. You know, this is something which I couldn't really absorb. I was like, yeah, every time that I come across Nauman Bhai is a serious, thorough gentleman. I mean, I never thought that, Nauman Bhai would be writing such amazing comic lines as well, and, comedy, and, that too situational. Was it a challenge for you to kind of come across with words, which can be really, which can actually have an impact of laughing gas for people who are actually watching it?
Once I completed Sher Dil, it had a great toll on me in terms of every energy I had. So I thought that I need to have a break from the media. If you remember, Tum Aur Woh, Junaid's song was mine. I wrote that thing. But then I said that there will be a break. But being a writer, these words kept on coming to my mind. These dialogues were oozing in me. And then one day I opened my mobile phone. I started scribbling all these words and documents together. And then slowly and gradually I came to know that it has become 7-8 pages of the only dialogues. And I, as a writer, I had number of stories running in my mind, and I wanted to speak to the new school, which is you. So I talked about the relations, and then the one thing which came out was Hum Tum Aur Woh.
And thank you so much for writing it out, and I think I am all in for the comedies, because I think there's so much tension going on around us that we really want to go and laugh out our heart out, right? So Mr. Nauman, we've seen that especially the cinema culture is under the threat because of these OTT platforms, and as someone, especially Pakistani film industry is very nascent in its infancy stage. So do you plan on going and approaching all of these OTT platforms for your film? Because obviously we've seen that people prefer Netflix. I mean, comfort of your home is always supreme than going out and going to the cinemas. So what is your plan? I mean, as a producer, do you feel threatened by these OTT platforms?
Probably partnering with them.
Yes.
Firstly, I will start with saying this thing: nothing like watching a movie in a cinema.
Of course.
So if you go there, you prepare yourself. There's a format where you sit down. You have 7.1 audio. By the way, the 7.1 audio Dolby, which we created in Turkey, we have come back. And once I'm talking to my audiences, once you watch it in the cinema, try listening to every side, because you will hear one audio coming from the right and left, because I created it while sitting in Istanbul. But at the same time, your question regarding the OTT, it has come.
Of course.
And we must open ourselves and embrace this thing. We watch Netflix every night.
And everybody's doing it.
And it's free, of course. I mean, you need to acknowledge the fact that when you're going out to the cinema, you are, purchasing the ticket of 1,000, I don't know. Generally it's like that, right? And as compared to the OTT platforms, you usually have it from your friend or from your brother.
You have a 250 rupees subscription, and then 10 of your friends are going to ask for your password.
And yes, of course, and we have that password, right? So, and we are not even paying that. So, I mean, you can't deny the benefits of watching it on the Netflix, right? So, obviously, it's a competitive.
OTT. We have many of these established OTT platforms. We have Vidly, we have TapMad, and all of them are coming up. but at the same time, which I feel is that whenever a movie comes, which is of your country, of course, you can choose, pick amongst them, but try watching it in the cinema, which I will expect from my nation. And there are lots of people who are right now in the cinema as I'm talking to yourself. This evening there will be many at this time. But OTT has made its mark, and we must accept it the way it is. And by the way, as myself and Shahzad were chatting, the Sher Dil is one of the biggest watched movie on the Amazon Prime right now.
Wow, yeah, and we spoke about it as well. You know, I mentioned it, ladies and gentlemen, it's #1, you know, as Numan Bhai has even mentioned. Let's move on to Saad now. So Saad, I mean, it's not that you've been regular with acting or probably dramas or something as well, alhamdulillah, you know, so you got lucky, you know, you were in connection with Numan Bhai from Sher Dil. All of a sudden there was a role for you. You know, how did you receive it? Were you willing to do it? Did you beg him that, okay, mainu bhi koi role de do? Or was it like, yeah, Numan Bhai came up to you and be like, you know, I think that, you know, this is a role which you need to do.
Was it challenging for you to prepare and go into that character?
That
How did you prepare that?
Right. Actually reason ये थी कि मेरे लिए एक्टिंग मैं कर रहा था, इस लेवल की एक्टिंग मैं लाइफ में फर्स्ट टाइम कर रहा था, और मेरे लिए बहुत ज़्यादा चैलेंजिंग था ये। अच्छा, इसमें ये नहीं है कि नुमान भी मेरे पास आए थे, ऐसा नहीं है। मैं ऑलरेडी पंजाबी बोल लेता था, लेकिन वो मिक्स पंजाबी बोलता था। कोई
कितना दी फॉर एग्जांपल कितना बोल लेंगे,
मतलब वो इस तरह की बोल लेता था, कोई पटवारी मिक्स है और समथिंग।
बोल के दिखाओ जरा हल्की।
अभी मैं आपको बोल के दिखाता हूँ, मैं एक्चुअली उसके पीछे का जो है वो आपको बैकग्राउंड। देन नुमान बिन जो है वो मुझे कहा कि नहीं यार, मुझे जो है ना वो स्पेसिफिक सरगोदा की जो एक पंजाबी है ना, वो मुझे आपसे चाहिए।
ओके,
मैंने कहा जी ठीक है। अब मुझे नुमान भाई ने स्पेशली उधर भेजा, 1.5 महीना मैं वहाँ पे रहा। वहाँ पे जो है वो जितने भी सरगोदा सराउंडिंग एरियाज़ हैं, भेरा, ये वो, उधर मैं रहा, उधर के लोगों को ऑब्जर्व किया, मैंने पंजाबी सीखी, उनका एटीट्यूड सीखा, उनकी वॉइस टोन सीखी, वो बात किस तरीके से करते हैं, ये सारी चीज़ें मैं उनसे जो है वो मैंने सीखी। ठीक है, देन जो है वो मैंने इधर आके किया। तो लेट्स सपोज
अभी फर्स्ट ऑडिशन once he gave me, I want to tell you, I'm sorry that he failed. And I said, thank you, Saad. Saad, you did well. You have the dialect and the accent of Sargodha, which I really like, and he's going to do it for you. But I need little plus of it. And he said, what do you mean, Numan Bhai? I said, another 15 days. He said, no way. I said, you have to go. And I'm thankful to Saad that then he spent another 15 days amongst the people and then really learned it. Because before that, I was hunting for somebody who can take this pain, because people can speak Punjabi, but they cannot speak Punjabi in that dialect of Sargodha and Bilwal. Which whenever I listen, our Iftikhar Thakur Saab, I asked him, Iftikhar Saab, find me a person who can do your dialect. He said, main hi sir.
Right? So, you know, and I think this shows us that how much effort goes into creating, I mean, and preparing yourself for the character, and especially for casting the right person for the right job. So Saad, go ahead and please.
So first of all, you know, let's talk about, you know, how you did in the audition, and then we'll move on towards after 15 days, how was it?
अच्छा, पहले जब मैंने स्टार्ट में जो है वो ऑडिशन दिया तो ना मिक्स टाइप की पंजाबी थी, को पटवारी थी, ठीक है, तुसी की कर रहे हो जी, तुसी ठीक हो जी, ठीक है जी असी कर लांगे, ये थोड़ा सा पंजाबी टच भी है। और इसके अंदर थोड़ा सा ना बीच में ज़ाहिर है पिंडी इस्लामाबाद में इतना टाइम हो गया तो बीच में पटवारी भी
कुदर अचने हो,
हाँ कुदर अचने हो, वो अचना गचना भी साथ निकल जाता था। ठीक है, अब जब उर्दू उसके अंदर आए, सरगोदा की लैंग्वेज 15 दिन 20 दिन में रह के आया, तो उस वक्त मेरा एटीट्यूड बिल्कुल डिफरेंट था, वो लाइक इस तरह का था। क्या हाल है भाई जी? ठीक हो? तुसी तो सन सलाम करके भी राजी ने।
आया बेहतरीन, क्या बात है।
मुंह ही ना लांदे हुण, बड़े लोग जे हो गए हो, तुसी किथे सानू मुंह लाना ही।
Wow, you picked up so well, man. I think you truly deserve a big round of applause. So for you to pick up and still kind of have that distinction in between from your first audition and then coming in as a pro as well. I think you've done a phenomenal
Shahzad is also very good at Punjabi, right? And Shahzad has also picked up a lot of dialects, be it the Putwari, be it the Punjabi and other dialogues. But and he's very good at making sure that you feel comfortable, especially in the
I think my cheeks have started to hurt. Thank you so much, Aja. I think that's the kind of work that we do. But let's move on to Miss Amba now. Miss Amba, as production head, you know, the most challenging is obviously, you know, director Saab wanted to go to Turkey, you know, he went to Turkey, you know, he had to create 7.1 Dolby digital sound. Everything has to come from you, right? Now imagine whenever we talk about films over in Pakistan, there's been a time that, you know, when we talk about Javed Sheikh Saab or Babar Ali and all of these Shan, you know, these individuals would always love to go abroad somewhere, right? We do know for a fact that now the infrastructure that we have over in Islamabad or surrounding cities is just so beautiful that it's second to none. So for you to kind of plan it in a way where it was conducive, where the eyeballs would be out there to catch whatever content you were producing, how was it for you? Did you guys sit down and think that, okay, probably we should, you know, do some scenes in Turkey, Switzerland, somewhere else?
Not at all, because the thing is this, it's a requirement based thing so far as the production design is concerned. So the kind of story we had, so it was not, it also depends on the budget as well.
Okay.
So although we were not restricted so far as the budget is concerned, but when it comes to this story, I, as a production designer, I felt that it's very much, you know, fine if we do it at a place where, you know, all my characters look good, where I can place, you know, the sets the way I want to, the kind of, you know, color palette I created in my mind. So it was very much, you know, there. Although my producer has spent a lot of you know, money on, you know, the kind
Who's
of
the producer? What? You yourself are the producer, mashallah. You know, after Sherdil, you can make 10 movies. You know, that's not a problem. But this is exactly, you know, because when I started this conversation, I was thinking to myself, I was like, Numan bhai wants to be introduced as a director and a writer. Why he's not comfortable with the production bit of it? Are you know, kind of
I think
saving yourself from the taxes or FBR to kind of come after you?
No. They all know, because I registered with them after before even making Sherdil. The point is that on the creative side, I always take a lead, and I would like to be known for that.
Recognized like that.
But as far as providing the funds and everything, which Madam Amber planned very well, and she asked me.
Somebody's still calling for a check.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful. Okay, yeah, please continue.
So, so far as your question was concerned, as you gave the reference of, you know, the Javed Sheikh's, you know, the movie, you know, being shot in Turkey. Although there is very much trend in nowadays as well that, you know, people are, but what we believe is this, that, you know, the content should be good.
True.
And it should be, you know, requirement based. It should not be that we have to push ourselves just to, although because whatever, you know, our sets, when you will see the movie, they are perfectly fine, and they go, you know, the kind of character he has created. They go very well. They are aligned with
So what was the most challenging job, you know, talking about Tum Aur Woh, you know, which you thought as a production head that, okay, yaar, I don't know how I'm going to do it?
I'm not being diplomatic at all, but I would say that Tum Aur Woh is the kind of movie in which the entire team gel in, and we supported each other. So far as I'm concerned, being the project head and the production designer, I mean, I would say that each and every member of my team has helped me out, although the production design is the most tedious job. But when, you know, your team support is with you, it becomes very easy.
Exactly.
And this is a piece of, you know, work which we have done with lot of passion, which we have done with lot of positivity. All the actors and by the way, I did the wardrobe as well.
Wow.
So because I always used to see that whenever, you know, the production design is concerned, they take care of the background, but they are not concerned that whether, you know, the attire is going to, you know, is going to blend well with the
colors of the background colors of the foreground as well. Very quickly, one last question.
I think, I'm sorry, I'm interjecting here, but I think I would like to ask this question to Numan Saab here, is because obviously filming and having that entire cast and crew and making sure that everyone gels is a very difficult task, and there are lots of, I would say, because it's a very competitive environment, right, and there are lots of envies, there are lots of jealousies, and we are often hearing them. So how was it, you know, your work with your team, and how did you make sure that everyone, as a director, that everyone is in the harmony and aligned with your project, and, you know, the ups and downs, how did you manage that?
We were 100 people at the set,
of course.
And rubbing everybody's skin in the right direction is always difficult. And being an ex-soldier, you know, we were trained to say yes or no. But as I came to this side of the world, I understood it while making Sherdil that it's going to be difficult ball game. So I trained myself to listen to lots of no's, and then I created lots of barricade in between myself and the other. But at the same time, that worked for me, that on the set, there was a new school, means young people working. I sat down with them, told them my vision, that what do I...
is different, you know, all of that, to pick it up and kind of, you know, induce it into that content, I think would have been
The approach is entirely different.
Alhamdulillah. You know, so very quickly, because You know, I got a chance to work with Khalilur Rahman Kamar Saab as well. So whatever lines he wrote, you know, he's like very picky about it. कि मैंने इस तरह लिखी है, इसको इस तरह ही बोलना है. And you know, we tried doing that as well. And you know, I was like, Khalil bhai, मतलब थोड़ा सा relax कर ले. I am, and you know, you are. You know, so please make sure. So you know, I think this is a question for Saad. You can answer it yes or no. So was Numan bhai was very picky with कि मैंने ये चीज इस तरह लिखी है, साथ तुम इसको इसी तरह बोलो. नहीं,
नुमान भाई ने मुझे बड़ा ओपन दिया ऑप्शन कि यार आपको जो जिस तरीके से आप रिलैक्स है ना, आप उस तरीके से.
I think now this totally makes sense that why, you know, he actually had to kind of learn again, you know, to kind of accept all of those rules which were out there. And one last question on a very lighter note, you know, so with production there is a very common word. I'm very sorry that I'm asking this on here. Khancha. Do you know about khancha? Did you get a chance for the khancha from this production budget?
Not at all. That
Nobody would have said that anyways, yes.
No, I would.
The answer can only be no.
Yeah. The right answer is actually no.
Thank you so much. But sir, very quickly, you know, for our amazing viewers in 46 different countries, they would love to know the kind of personalities that you carry. So we have like 10 or 12 questions that we're going to ask you. You just have to say it's a this or that, you know, so whatever you like, you guys can say turn by turn as well. One question will go for all three of you as well. So we are getting started with this or that, ladies and gentlemen, another fun segment to know them better. So what do they like, you know, so playlists or podcasts?
Podcast.
Playlist.
What about you?
Okay, podcast probably, you know, and playlist as well. I mean, it depends.
I
You know,
think it depends upon if you are in a very
early morning
serious mood.
podcast,
Yes,
in the evening playlist. I think that's what it is. All right, shoes or slippers?
Of course, shoes for me.
Shoes, yeah. Shoes for me, slippers. Sometimes not even slippers. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, this is something which my mother gets angry about as well. Chicken or beef? There's no mutton. Okay, so chicken or beef?
If it's not steak, then chicken.
Okay. Beef.
All time beef.
All right. So swimming pool or beach? Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah.
Beach.
Yeah. Beach. Okay.
All the way.
Beach.
Do you guys know how to swim?
Yes, I.
Yeah, you know beach pickup. Aja, what about you?
I think I've not to been beach. I mean, a lot of times in my life. Yeah, I mean, so it was once or twice in that, but I think swimming pool.
Swimming pool. Okay, that's wonderful. Fruits or vegetables?
Fruits.
Vegetables.
Fruits. Wonderful. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
You can't make a
None.
choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not an
Cats.
animal lover.
Wow, yeah. I mean, for you to love cats, I mean, I just cannot get my head around it. But yeah, it's your choice. Okay, wonderful.
What about you? I think dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs and horses.
I think
That's
both
it.
of them.
Only two pets, dogs and horses. Okay, so summer or winter?
Winter.
That's summer.
Spring season.
Yeah, spring. Yeah, this season, you know, this
I don't
particular
like
season.
extreme weather. It might be the
All right, so new phone or new clothes? Both.
The answer is, your answer is right, but if I have to choose one, that will be clothes.
But where will you write your, script? You know, you need a new phone, right?
Yeah, I do.
Exactly. What about you?
I think that the pertinent answer is clothes.
Clothes, yes.
Clothes.
Of course. What about you?
Clothes, of course, they are handy and they are not that expensive as compared
Exactly.
to mobile phones. So you can't afford phone every other day, but you can afford clothes.
Exactly. So comedy or horror?
Comedy.
Comedy.
Of course, they're going to say comedy.
Obviously, they're going to say comedy now as well.
What about you?
So, comedy, yes.
There are
I
three
don't like
horror-
horror movies. I
Yeah,
can
I
sleep
don't-
at night then afterwards.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I want somebody to sleep with me then.
Yeah, I don't
and
like
that's not a good
violence.
idea for a 6'3" tall guy asking somebody, "Ke bete, can you sleep with me?" You know, I'm a little scared. Okay, one last one. Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Insta now.
Instagram. Everybody's
Of course,
hippie
Instagram,
these
yeah.
days as well. I believe, you know, so wherever you have got the maximum reach, ladies and gentlemen, I think that will do. But thank you so much, Tum Aur Woh.
Thank you
know,
so much.
thank you to
Thank
the
you so
entire
much.
team. Thank you so much for taking our time and that too on such an auspicious occasion we know as Eid. So
Thank you
probably,
so much.
you know, we'll talk about the free tickets, you know, afterwards. Or do you like the idea of free tickets
And
anyway?
also, please tell us a little bit about the story. So why should people go and watch Hum
Yeah.
Film?
Yeah. There's a word, I would say awami,
Yes.
and there's a word which is a movie for masses. This time what I wanted is either we could write the comedies to the level of Anwar Maqsood and Ishfaq Ahmed Saab,
Yes.
or we could come down to the level of the stage dramas of Faisalabad. There was a comedy which we taught to India that what is the kind of the comedies
Yeah.
Pakistani could do.
True.
So that Muin Akhtar style and the metaphor was there, but at the same time you were continuously laughing on 50-50s and Alif Noon. So what I did was, the power was of the dialogues, but the push was of the situations. So that is what is this movie about. But I've connected because there was characters of Rawalpindi. The Pindi boys have made their mark. So I've picked up a character of Rawalpindi. I picked up a character of Sargodha and Bilwal, but at the same time I showed a modern side of Pakistan, which is Islamabad and around it. So I connected all of them, and the thing which came out was Hum Tum Aur Woh.
And I think one last question before we wrap up this segment is, Numan, I would like to ask you that generally this is the criticism that is leveled on the Pakistani film industry, which is on the script. So we are not probably producing that much strong scripts as we used to back in the old days, or when we talk about the golden era. Yes. So how do you tackle that particular criticism as someone who is totally invested in them?
It exists.
The best question. I would say that once I took Madam Amber on this on board, I said this thing that, Amber, the power is of script and the story. What I want is you to work around it. But as she was perfectionist, she was working on the attire of everybody, and she would have it iron and would go to the detail of every vase on the. So I would say, Madam, do it, but at the same time, this is not a rich house. So bring it, tone it down. So my script was in fact and by the way, people,
we've seen your characters driving Mercedes. I mean, it looks like a rich house anyway.
So we very right. We wanted to show this side also, but then 70% of the movie transformed to the Mercedes side also. So we touched both, but both characters, if they cross over to that side, that is what we showed in the complete movie. And I think so, as I said, that this is a movie for the masses. So people in Sargodha and cities like that, they're going to really connect to every word. So in my this trailer, if you hear, I've kept the music little down so that everybody, because most of the trailers, if they finish, you ask them what were the dialogues, they won't be able to tell you. But by the end of the trailers of the Hum Tum Aur Woh, they would be able to say that I challenge you 4 to 5 powerful dialogues with them, and that was what you asked me, that scripts and then dialogues, and of course then you may show a big movie.
Exactly, and which is why, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to urge each and every individual to please make sure that you go out there. I'm not going to say that you need to support it. I think that, for all of these people who've been creating this content for you, it is of utmost obligation that we certainly go there to kind of either see whether it's good content or not. Go with that as well. So Saad, very quickly towards the end, if there's one character which you love the most in the movie, in Hum Tum Aur Woh, which character is it other than yours? यार ये वाला मैं कर लेता.
Of course, ये आपने मुश्किल सवाल पूछा है, but definitely हर बंदा जो है वो leading के बारे में सोच रहा होता है.
Well, I think that Junaid and Amna did a great job as well. This is what we got from the trailer. But thank you so much for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. And for everybody who's out there, this scene, Hum Tum Aur Woh, will bring you a lot of smiles and laughter. Please make sure that you go with your family members. Watch it. It's a family film. Book your tickets as of now as well. It will be available on online platforms as well. Until next time, no, in fact, not until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we have to head out towards a short break. Because now when you come back, for all of those vermicellis and sweets that you guys are having, why not enjoy it with a cup of tea and with a bit of ghazal? Yeah, we can do that.
Yes,
Eid Mubarak, let's do
Eid Mubarak
it.
to everyone out there after a short break.
मैनू तेरे जिहा सोहना होर लभदा ना, मैनू तेरे जिहा सोहना होर लभदा ना, बैठी जावां तेरे कोल रूह रजदा ना, मैनू तेरे जिहा सोहना होर लभदा ना, मैनू तेरे जिहा सोहना होर लभदा ना, बैठी जावां तेरे कोल रूह रजदा ना, मैनू तेरे जिहा सोहना होर लभदा ना. कोई सावी वंग माया असा ते पसंद कीता तेरा सांवला रंग माया है तेरा सांवला रंग माया मुर्शद आस पुचावे बेड़ा खैर दाया वे मुर्शद आस पुचावे बेड़ा खैर दाया वे सानू माही मिला दे बस चलदा नाम तेरे जिहा सोना होर लभदा ना बैठी रवां तेरे कोल रूह रजदा नाम तेरे जिहा सोना होर लभदा ना चिट्टियां कारानी कुड़ियां स्कूल दियां कूंजां दियां डारानी जाना सुनिया दे बूवे भावें सट्ट विच खुद जाना सुनिया दे बूवे जाना सुनिया दे बूवे जाना सुनिया दे बूवे 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 जाना सुनिया ते बूवे भावें सट्टे विच खुद जाना सुनिया ते बूवे भावें सट्टे विच खुद सानू माही मिला दे बस चलदा नाम तेरे जिहा सोना होर लभदा ना मैनू तेरे जिहा सोना होर लभदा ना बैठी रवां तेरे कोल रूह रजदा ना तेरे जिहा सोना होर लभदा।
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kamal Athazia joining us today. Alongside him, we have been very lucky that we have been joined by Philips on Dholki as well. Athar bhai, Eid Mubarak. Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you. Sannu tere jiha sona koi labda na. Sir, how are you? कैसे हैं आप? बिल्कुल बिल्कुल आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर, आप तशरीफ लेके आए हमारे ईद के प्रोग्राम में और आपने 4 चांद लगाए। आप जब भी आते हैं, आप जिस मैं अक्सर ऐसे सोच भी नहीं पाता हूँ कि वो क्या अल्फाज होंगे जिसमें मैं आपको दाद दे सकूँ। आपको जितनी भी दाद दी जाए वो कम है। जिस खूबसूरती से आप अपनी जो कला है, जो आपकी आर्ट फॉर्म है, जिसके आप उसके साथ जो जस्टिस करते हैं, मेरा ख्याल है उसके लिए हमारे पास अल्फाज नहीं। कैसी जा रही है आपकी?
बहुत अच्छी जा रही है सर, लोग मिल रहे हैं और गपशप चल रही है और सैरें हो रही हैं
माशाल्लाह।
और बस
और ईदियाँ दे रहे हैं या ले रहे हैं?
अभी तो देना ही पड़ती है।
बहुत अच्छा, थैंक यू सो मच। लेकिन जब भी हम ईद की बात करते हैं, ऑब्वियसली गज़ल हो, गायकी हो, मेरा ख्याल है ये ऐसी आर्ट फॉर्म है कि ईद में रंग आ जाता है। तो आप बहुत मसरूफ रहते होंगे ईद के दिनों में?
ईद के दिनों में तो ज़ाहिर है रमज़ान
आज भी शाम को कहीं आपने जाना है? प्रोग्राम तय हुए हुए?
जी बिल्कुल।
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, बहुत अच्छी बात है। आप ईद पे क्या पैगाम देना चाहेंगे जो भी आपके फैंस हैं, जो आपकी गायकी को पसंद करते हैं, उनके लिए अगर आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं तो आज आपके पास मौका है कैमरे में देख के।
मेरा पैगाम वही है कि पीस एंड लव, बस वो बहुत ओल्ड है लेकिन सच है,
यही है, सच है। तो जब आपकी शादी हुई है सर, तब से पीस एंड लव में ही रह रहे हैं आप?
नहीं सर, शादी के बाद तो पीस नहीं होता, पीसेस हो जाते हैं।
पीस हो जाता है। I think that goes without saying, and ladies and gentlemen, this just happens to be a banter. I think for any healthy relationship to come across ups and downs, I think is a part of it as well. Philips, आप कैसे हैं? आप enjoy कर रहे हैं इस ईद पे?
बहुत ज़्यादा, बहुत
फायदा उठा रहे हैं ईद का? कितनी की ईदियाँ आपने इकट्ठी कर ली अभी तक?
अभी तो दे रहे हैं फिलहाल।
अभी दे रहे हैं तो फिर अब इकट्ठी करने जाएंगे
जी।
अंदाज़न सबसे ज्यादा ईदी आपको फिलिप्स आज तक क्या मिली है?
सबसे ज़्यादा ईदी तो यही है कि जो मेरा म्यूज़िक, यही बस मेरे लिए
जो जितना वेल रिसीव किया जाए लोगों से, आई थिंक दैट्स ब्यूटीफुल एज वेल। बट अतर भाई, मेरा ख्याल है कि इससे पहले कि हम रैप अप करें, हम जरा अपने आखिरी पैगाम दे लेते हैं, फिर हम आपसे एक और गज़ल, कवाली, जो भी आप सुनाना चाहें तो हम सुनना चाहेंगे। फॉर एवरीबडी who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, on this auspicious occasion of Eid, we certainly want you to kind of remember all of those individuals who unfortunately might not be able to come to their families. Please make sure that if they are away, call them. Not just that, please make sure that you pray for our brethren in Kashmir, illegally Indian occupied Kashmir, and our brethren in Palestine as well. Please make sure that you remember us all in your prayers as well. For all of those people who might not come from the same segment of society as you live in, please make sure that you gift them something, may it be a new dress, may it be some Eid, gather them around and make sure that there's no difference in between you and them, because this festivity actually speaks about all of us coming together and enjoying this festivity at the most, with the most of the people who surround you, with your friends, family, each and every person. Once again, thanks to all of those law enforcement agencies, officers who are out there on the borders protecting our motherland, Pakistan. And you're being missed, brother and sister, whoever's out there, whoever is on the call of duty. Just like us, I think, we would certainly want to pay them rich tribute. And it's a healthy Eid Mubarak for everybody who's out there. Haja, do you want to say something?
Of course, and like you mentioned that we should also remember the less fortunate who are not as much blessed in terms of materialistic, obviously, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So make sure that you look after the less fortunate brothers and sisters, and like you mentioned, especially the people of Kashmir, Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and people of Palestine who are suffering under the atrocities of the Israeli occupation forces there, and make sure that you also look after the families, the destitute families, especially because I love this tradition, like I mentioned before, of the fitrana. So according to this tradition, the philosophy behind this tradition is that you are able to patronize the less fortunate, the underprivileged, the marginalized, who are not going to get the money every year, and make sure that the circulation of the money goes on in the society. And I think one thing that I would like to say is that if it's possible, patronize one underprivileged or destitute kid and make sure that you give him monthly or her money in terms
send them to school, give them their fee.
Yes. So I think you can always make and contribute your part in making sure that you uplift the life, upgrade the life of that one particular family or a person, and according to your own monetary contribution. And obviously there are a lot of other methods to non-monetarily contribute to their life, and especially when we talk about their upgradation. So Eid Mubarak to everyone who's out there, and especially like Shahzad mentioned, the people who are protecting us on our borders, people who are working also, who are unable to connect with their loved ones. Make sure that you are with them, and remember us and entire team in your prayers.
Ameen, so Ameen. So Eid Mubarak. Swata Sahab, please take it away.
Thank you. माहियार दी घड़ोली, माहियार दी घड़ोली, हक मोरा माहियार दी घड़ोली भर दी। एक अल्लाह कोलो मैं डर दी, एक मौला कोलो मैं डर दी। हक माहियार दी घड़ोली, हक मोला माहियार दी घड़ोली भर दी। माहियार दी घड़ोली, माहियार दी घड़ोली भर दी। अल्लाह कोलो मैं डर दी, एक मौला कोलो मैं डर दी। माहियार दी घड़ोली, हक मौला माहियार दी घड़ोली भर दी। पीर पीरा हजरत मीरा, पीर पीरा, पीर पीरा हजरत मीरा, नाम जिदे हाँ टुटियां जंजीरा। मैं तो हरदम रब रब कर दी, मैं तो हरदम रब रब कर दी। माहियार दी घड़ोली, हक मौला माहियार दी घड़ोली भर दी। एक अल्लाह कोलो मैं डर दी, एक मौला कोलो मैं डर दी। माहियार दी घड़ोली, हक मौला माहियार दी घड़ोली भर दी। हसन हुसैन अली दा जाया, हसन हुसैन,
क्या बात है, क्या बात है।
हसन हुसैन अली दा जाया, पार मतदा सिर ते चाया, पार मतदा सिर ते चाया। मैं तो मुर्शद हाजिर कर दी, मैं तो मुर्शद हाजिर कर दी। माहियार दी घड़ोली, हक मौला माहियार दी घड़ोली भर दी। घूम चड़कड़ा चड़कड़ा, घूम चड़कड़ा साइयां दा तेरी कत्तन वाली जीवे, कत्तन वाली जीवे, कत्तन वाली जीवे, लड़ियां वट्टन वाली जीवे। घूम चड़कड़ा ਚੜਖੜਾ ਧੂਮ ਚੜਖੜਾ ਸਾਈਆਂ ਦਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਕੱਤਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਜੀਵੇ ਕੱਤਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਜੀਵੇ ਕੱਤਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਜੀਵੇ ਲੜੀਆਂ ਵੱਟਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਜੀਵੇ